This red car is speeding along. He's just opened the door and it's been smashed in. And without stopping, the red car drove off without looking back. Although the owner had already seen the toll booth, he didn't slow down. The car hit the guardrail as it snaked along and crashed into the opposite lane. But this isn't Fast and Furious. Tom had just bought a van and decided to take the family on a road trip. But Tom wanted to test the car's intelligence system and set the speed to 130. However, the intelligence system malfunctioned and the speed was increased to 130 and could not be reduced. Tom was so angry that he smashed the screen so hard it was almost broken. At the moment of crisis, Tom's grandfather told him to brake because of his experience. Tom stepped on the accelerator, but let the car reach a speed of 140 divided by h. But Ben didn't believe him and told Tom to press even harder. Tom braked 3 more times, and the car reached 160 kilometers per hour. At this point, trucks suddenly appeared. Fortunately, Tom reacted quickly and changed lanes to take the secondary road. Just then, a small yellow car opened its door and, with a thud, the door shattered. Although Jackie was shocked, he still tried to get out of the car to put the door back in place. Jackie was so angry that he threw the door onto the back seat and gave chase. The brakes on this little red car gave out. It was traveling at 160 kilometers per hour on the motorway. It sped past the traffic warden. The policeman reacted and got on his motorbike to give chase. Just then, another yellow car was passed. The policewoman got on her motorbike and gave chase. The policeman quickly caught up with Tom's little red car, but the policeman couldn't hear what they were saying because of the speed. Tom's wife reacted quickly by grabbing a newspaper and writing a big SOS. The girl tried to open the car window to show the newspaper to the police, who had seen it, but the newspaper flew out and stuck to the policeman's face. The policeman removed the newspaper with great difficulty, but the newspaper flew out and stuck to the window of Jackie's car. Jackie was forced to stop the car and became even angrier and bent down to turn off the intelligent control system, but accidentally activated the heated seats. Tom felt like he was being roasted by the fire under his arse, then saw a toll booth. The police, with the help of the traffic police, had already cleared the toll booth in advance, but Tom realizes that the police are evacuating the toll booth in the wrong direction. They were about to hit the car in front of them. The man raced towards the toll booth at 160 mph, but the police were evacuating vehicles in the wrong direction, so he turned left and ran into the barricade. Then he turned right and retraced his steps. Jackie didn't hesitate to follow Tom from the opposite lane. The traffic wardens drove in front of him. Unfortunately, 2 bird droppings fell on the car window. Tom turns on the windscreen wipers, but watches them fly away. The windscreen is covered in foam, and he can't see anything in front of him. Fortunately, Ben quickly opened the sunroof to act as an artificial windscreen wiper and clean the glass. Although Ben almost fell out, he managed to get back into the car. Tom had to swap places with his grandfather because he had cramps from the long and stressful journey. So he called the Ford shop for help, but the Ford shop also had a problem. A family test drove a car and ended up getting trapped inside the car for so long that they vomited inside the car. Then a hornet got into the car. Tom took off his shoe and hit the hornet, but missed. The airbag went off, but the wasp flew out the window. But the wasp was bold enough to find another target. The wasp saw Jackie's car door open and crawled into Jackie's ear. Jackie was frightened and accidentally hit a large lorry. He was almost pierced by a small steel pipe and immediately became angry. Jackie immediately smashed the windscreen and took off after Tom. Ben's body is burning up after half a day's driving. He takes a few sips of water and pours the rest over his body. The base of the car is soaked with water and leaks electricity, sparks flying. Ben was so frightened that he almost jumped out of his skin. After a while, his bladder couldn't take it anymore. Ben had to pee, so he had to use a plastic bag. Granddad threw the plastic bag over his grandson after he'd finished urinating. Jackie was right behind the car and the plastic bag stuck to his face. He tasted the bag and got angry. He stepped on the accelerator and went after him. Jackie grabbed a dustbin and put it over his head to avoid an accident. He stepped on the accelerator and gave chase again. They thought the brakes weren't powerful enough, so they applied them together. They broke the brakes directly. Tom got angry and threw it, but it hit the traffic warden. That's when Jackie caught up with us. Tom didn't know what was happening when he saw Jackie charging at him. Seeing Jackie so excited, the boy took out his crossbow and shot an arrow at Jackie. The arrow stuck in Jackie's thigh. He pulled it out with his hand and immediately felt the pain. The car went out of control and crashed into the road. The frightened crowd gathered around Jackie and beat him up. At this point, the traffic police set off in pursuit. They blocked the red car to slow it down, but they realized that it was very fast. The policeman realized that there was no point, so he picked them up through the window. The boy and the girl passed unhindered, but Ben looked straight at the blue-haired girl and nearly knocked her to the ground. Fortunately, Tom warned Grandpa in time, but Tom's pregnant wife couldn't get through. The traffic police immediately airlifted the pregnant woman through the sunroof. Seeing that there wasn't much time left in the traffic jam, they decided to lift the car. Just as the car was about to hit her, It lifted into the air. They were so happy when suddenly the glass started to break. The car split in two and turned into a convertible, but they were lucky enough to land safely. Tom soon arrived at the hospital and watched his wife give birth to their baby. The family happily left the hospital and entered a smart lift. The lift suddenly became dark and bright. A lift scare is about